Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers Legacy Evolution Voyager class dirge figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We'll have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. Because of course he's basically a Generations figure and based on an original Generation 1, we can have a look at how he compares with the original Generation 1 version of him. And we can then of course see how he looks and displays with some of the other Seekers that have been released in a Voyager class scale since the War for Cybertron trilogy. And of course we'll do some other comparisons with some other figures like third party and studio series, just to give you an idea of scale. So as I start to pack these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, and also thank In Demand Toys in the UK, because that's who I purchased this from, and as you can see they got him out to me nice and quickly and indeed safely. So let's have a look at the beautiful artwork on these boxes. So of course, because we've got the robot mode at the front, we've then got the alternate mode just underneath that. What's interesting, it doesn't even say G1 Dirge then, it just says Dirge. We've then got the bust of him there, and indeed the full robot that side. And then of course this is the Legacy Evolution artwork that we are now very accustomed to. I do believe this works, so I'm going to hold that there. If anybody would like to try and scan that QR code, they can have a look at his tech spec as well. And when we spin it around to the back, this just looks really odd. This huge gap here is of course because it's a repackage of a figure that I was unable to get. It came out during Earthrise, I believe it was. So of course there's no Evo Fusion gimmick, hence this huge empty space on the back. Right, however, still excited to have a look at this figure, so let's get inside. So yeah, obviously this is the first figure from, is it Evolution Wave 2? It must be. And of course it makes perfect sense that it was the first one to be released, because it is exactly that. It's just a repackage. I believe it's a slight tiny redeck around the wings. I couldn't be 100% accurate with that because I don't have the other to compare it with. However, of course, as we look at it in detail in a minute, I can show you, and then anybody who's lucky enough to have the original, if they'd like to comment for me, just to let me know. So there you go. What I like about these Seekers is they are quite big, they are quite robust, and as you can see they do genuinely fill out the actual packaging. So we've got the blasters there, we've got the instructions there. I now need to set him free and come back with some first impressions. Okay then, so here he is fresh from the packaging, and it's time for some first impressions. So his legs are still stuck together, so of course we need to separate this. It looks like we can just fold the wings back a teeny bit as well, and I think everything else looks pretty much exactly as it should be, to be honest. Really liking the look of this guy. He's nice and dark blue, to be honest, a little bit darker than the actual G1 figure, but I'm not bothered about that. Lovely translucent plastic there in the cockpit. Loads of articulation on this guy, so let's see if I can fit this all in actually, because he's quite a bit bigger than some of the other figures. So there we go, there is the head sculpt, amazing. Look at that, look at the detail there on the mouth and the red eyes. Head will turn side to side, and it does up and down as well. There you go, so really articulate head. Arms as we're used to the Seekers, full range of motion to the sides, to the front. This wing sort of gets in the way, but you can move it out of the way if you want to go full rotation. It will go out to the side. You've got a swivel just beneath the shoulder, bicep flexion. There isn't a, no there's not, of course. I'm trying to remember, I think, because I don't own the original Ramjet, but I do own the shattered glass one, or sorry, G2 one, so I think it's exactly, or pretty much the similar mold to that. That means that there's no waist swivel, but as you can see you've got a skirt which will leave this with loads of, again, range of motion. No skirt on the back either, to be fair, by the looks of it. That is solidly in, so you've only got that much range of motion going back. You've got a knee bend, you've got an ankle tilt, rock and step, so that's really good. And there we go. What else can we have a quick look at him? There's quite a bit of detail on this, molding detail in his legs, on the inside of the wings, nice detail on the tampograph there. And yeah, not very basic looking at all. Really, again, feels robust. I like these Seekers. I like them in the Voyager class scale because they do feel, for me, like good sturdy figures. We've got the two accessories. which are so perhaps they could have maybe just gone bigger with the actual bombs, or more like the Generation 1. We're going to do more of a comparison later on, but what I mean is they could have gone with a slightly different mold for these, instead of these being pretty much generic, just different colors of all the other versions that we've had released, etc. But as far as first impressions go, I think he looks great. So let's come back and have a look at him in his alternate mode. Okay, then we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode. Just apart from this last little bit, quick apologies for no transformation process in this video. That's for a couple of reasons. One is to keep the main length of this video down, and the second is not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want it spoiling for them, because I know lots of people like to do that first transformation process for themselves. However, a separate tutorial video will be uploaded if you do want to see it. And once again, I'm sure you'll agree, this is beautiful. It is very, very good. It all fits together nice and easily. We've got the lovely translucent orange for the cockpit. This is all solid, by the way. It's all solid plastic. There's no rubber bits at all like there used to be on the original ones. The wings are of course in two pieces as well, which you can see there. Lovely tamper-graphed on Decepticon logos, and it all just seems to fit together really, really well. The only thing, the negative on it, is there isn't really any landing gear, and if we want to not transform him, if we want to compare him next to the original, you can see it really is a good likeness, and in fact he's quite a bit bigger. Now, unbeknownst to most people, Generation 1 figures were really big, as you can see, so he is a very good size compared to that. Now, obviously with the G1, there was only one place you could put the accessories on the underside, and with this, you've got an abundance of choices. So we'll go with the straight off Generation 1 copy, which of course is like that. And then because we've got loads of other ports, and do you know what, funnily enough, I might as well do it because I've got the other Seekers here. So I'm going to take Thundercrackers. Now, you of course can do this with just the black ones if you wanted, but because I've got the others, I'm just going to show you all the potential combinations really that you could do. So you could either put it there, which is the back of his forearms, and I don't know if they come out at the side actually. I don't know if I could put that underneath. You could if you wanted to there, but then you wouldn't be able to get that one in. It's up to yourself. And of course the most obvious is maybe if you want to get a Target Master or something like that, you could put one on the top as well. But if I just shift these out for now, I just wanted to show you the other possibilities of what you could do. But that is, of course, again, a straight up copy, and indeed looks really good, just like the Generation 1. My only, as I say, negative comment on it would be the fact, as I said, that these are exactly the same, just a different colour depending on which Seeker that you've got. And that, of course, there proves it, because Thundercrackers are blue. Anyway, let's just have a quick look. On the underside, it's pretty much, as I say, as you'd expect. They've just popped out because I moved them out of the way. The transformation process itself, it's a bit of a, I suppose it's just a larger version of the classic figure of Starscream from about 2006. But otherwise, yeah, like it. I do like it, even though I'm not going to be displaying him in this mode. So what we are going to do, we're going to come back for the final time with him in his robot, and we can see how he poses and indeed displays. Okay, then back for the final time with him in his robot mode, because this is the way that I'm going to be displaying him. So I think as well, I'm going to obviously attach these blasters to the sides of his arms, pretty much again exactly the same as the Generation 1 version of him. Oh, he says as soon as he knocks one out. Now, the best thing about this compared to the G1, and everybody on who watches this channel knows just how much I do love G1 originals, the only negative for this is just that the cone head was way too big, whereas with this they've dialed it down, and of course the actual nose cone is at the back, but it's just big enough. I think it really suits him really, really well. Now, as I say, you can put them in his hands as well, so I can just show you how that's gonna look, like so. And to be fair, I think that's how I had Thundercracker displayed literally just up until now, so you can do that. It looks okay, because you can get away with it. I think obviously the main one to have in the side of the arms, because of course they're even called a different name. They're classed as null rays, and that is of course Starscream, but I just think that all of the Seekers just look better. I'm saying that now, I don't know actually. Have they got it on here? No, they've got it on his arms as well. Maybe I might put them in his hands, but there again is your direct comparison with the Generation 1 version of him. And now in robot mode, he's much bigger than what he was in Jet. So with regards to some other figures, just to give you an idea of sort of scale, there's a core class Seeker Jet, which is of course much, much smaller. Here's a New Age Seeker jet, which of course is classed as legend scale size, so he only comes up to his waist. If I just do a few more while I'm here, I suppose other figures. So there's a deluxe kickback, so as you can see, you really are getting that Voyager class price point because he's much bigger. With regards to other G1 figures, there you go, there's a G1 hot rod. And then with regards, I suppose, to some other figures in the more recent toy line, shall we say, so there's a Studio Series Bumblebee figure. Again, massive towers right over him. This is the latest version from Rise of the Beasts of Optimus Prime. Same size and scale as in both Voyager class. So you can see that they really do size up quite well together. I'll just do another very quick, just in case for anybody else who collects Legends. There is a Magic Square Trailbreaker, but the main reason why I've got this guy is, of course, to put with the rest of the Seekers. So, funnily enough, I think it's a big, not problem, it's a very reoccurring thing that happened with regards to all of it, most of the Earthrise figures. So the Starscream version I had to get as part of the Studio Series 86 toy lineup. I didn't get the Earthrise version of him. I was lucky enough to get Thundercracker. In fact, you're not going to be able to see these, they won't all fit, and Skywarp in the twin pack. And indeed lucky enough to get, I say lucky enough, I paid 2 or 3 times the actual asking price he was everywhere else, but that's because in the UK you couldn't get him anywhere. I got him from the Space Bridge. There is Thrust, and of course obviously I'm missing Ramjet because I didn't get that twin pack. So if Hasbro are watching this, when can we have Ramjet as well, please? But in the meantime, they all look great together. They do look spectacular. The Voyager class, in my opinion, just really suits this mold really well, and they do display, but they take up loads of space, but they do display absolutely fantastic. So there you go for now. Let me know in the comments if you're really pleased, just as I am, that you can now get this figure, and indeed let me know how you're going to be displaying him as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.